I kept getting notifications.
And we're live.
Yeah, there we go. We're
Hey,
live.
welcome.
All right.
And hang on, I'm gonna scoot over here so everybody knows I'm here. But I'm gonna be over here.
Suddenly you want to be on camera. Suddenly you want to be on camera, Rex.
No paranoia.
A moment ago, I'm not vain enough. I don't care if people see me. As soon as the camera comes on,
First thing
hey guys, I'm here too. Don't forget me.
Well, actually, but they always ask that though. They're like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Right here."
You're there. That's funny. That's like a baby
So
monitor.
hard for us to like squeeze into the
Yeah,
camera
see, if we
screen
squeeze
together.
like right here on the double screen, it's always like that. Like it's easier for one of us to be on the screen or the nobody, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, it cuts it for me too. Let me make sure. Okay, I see. AFOL story time. Okay. Let me give an extra view on my YouTube channel. You got an ad on your channel. Okay, BrickQueen. You got ads on your channel?
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I'm so used to it. I just don't even think about it.
That's just normal for us now.
I'm not there yet. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
We're gonna get you there.
Yeah, we're gonna get you there, Manny. What do you need? Watch time or what?
I don't. Yeah, that's all I need. Watch time because I got.
Yes. You got the
this
subs. All you need is watch time. You just need to
Yeah,
pump
it's a
out
sub
videos, dude.
and watch times. Yeah. I know. I only go live. Then I put on my shorts, but I actually hit 50,000 views recently altogether. So that was pretty cool. A little bit of a
Yeah, well, that's good. You're getting close.
Yep.
And I know you folks, millions of views per videos. I know, but I hit 50,000 collectively. I feel proud.
Yeah,
Hey,
no,
you're
it's good.
getting
No,
there.
we were ecstatic when we got 300 views the first time.
Yeah, and we're
Oh,
kind of reverse, you know, like you've already built up TikTok a good bit. I built up YouTube. Now we're switching. You're building YouTube. I'm building TikTok.
That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
So it works.
But you guys put your time in. So you guys been around for a long time. So,
Yeah.
I'm new.
Hello to everyone in the chat. I don't know. Do you want to show what you're building tonight?
Oh yeah, I'll show you guys what I'm building. First off, we didn't introduce. I'm EyeWearPants.
Sorry.
Obviously, this is BrickQueen. Everybody knows. We have Radio Rex back there showing
Yeah,
himself.
I'm back here.
So, I'm working on the Bad Batch shuttle. I'm on bag number 4. If you guys saw my live stream earlier or like my solo streams, I did bag 1 and 2 already, and 3, and I'm on bag 4 now. So this was bag 3. I got the cockpit going, and so what are you guys doing?
I am gonna keep working on the Sith Infiltrator. I can get that lined up right. I've done. Let's see. I did the first
bags.
3 bags. I think I'm on bag 4.
Yeah.
And so right now, this is what I have. I have this part, and then I have this part separated from it. So
you're going on bag 5?
going on bag 4.
Are you going on bag 4? Wow, I'm going on bag 4. This is we had the 2. So bag 1 were just these 2 speeders. This was bag 2. Am I on bag? No, I'm on bag 3 actually. Never mind. I'm sorry guys. I lied to you guys. I'm on bag 3. Let's say your bag 4 seems so much more. That's cool. Do you know what year that set came out on? I tell you all the time. I love how you guys have.
Yeah, it was 2014 or 15.
Yeah, this one's 2015.
And it was fresh out the box, or
Yep, fresh out the box.
We literally bought it like day 1, and we'd never opened it.
you guys still need to do. Like, I'm just so curious to see how many sets you guys still have in the bags.
I don't.
I still need to do that.
It's hard to count because we have them in boxes everywhere.
Yeah,
That's so crazy. Like, I can only imagine like what you're like. What look? You guys have like a whole Lego store.
I know.
Pretty much. It's like a
insane.
small toy store in one of our rooms. It's just sad.
So awesome.
Yeah.
For not having any kids, you guys have the house of like a child's dream.
It's true.
Yeah, pretty
Can't
much.
deny that.
It's funny because when you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Liam was saying, read the general chat. We're gonna read the chat. Don't worry.
Yeah.
All right, Liam, a little pushy there, Jim. I see you, Liam. Liam wants his attention. Liam, you're the man. Let's see what. All right, let's see what they have to say here. Hey, BrickQueen. By the way, I've been really getting into Lego. I've bought like 4 sets throughout getting back into it. Oh, nice. What sets did you get, man? I'm sure BrickQueen would be interested in knowing. Hi, everyone. I'm late because HC, get out of here. You're late. I'm sorry, brother. Too late. This is you need to be punctual, man, or we don't accept you.
What is that? What's the club in the mask? You know, the Cocoa Banana or whatever. The real expensive. Yeah. Like, you know, the Jim Carrey club in the mask.
Coco Havana. Coco Havana.
Yeah, that's it.
Banana. Yeah, that's what it's like, bro. You gotta.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Stanley Ipkiss. If you don't know, make it on.
You gotta do that Stanley Ipkiss for a minute, bro.
I remember. Yeah, that movie. Some movies are like kind of burn in your head if you grew up in the '90s, and that's one of them. You know, like every time I hear there's this one. Well, whatever. It's a stupid thing. I won't say it. It's like let's rock this joint. When he started singing, it's like me and my brother randomly will say, "Let's rock this joint," and it's like from that movie, but it's just a small little scene. It's so stupid.
See, JS Productions got Duel on Mustafar, Anakin's Jedi Interceptor, Roma Requirement, and the Polyjuice Potion Mistake. Nice mix of Star Wars and Harry Potter there.
Room of Requirement is a Harry Potter set, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I've got apparently MJ Micah is screaming at me, BrickQueen, you've been gone too long. Now suffer my wrath.
No.
I know. I guess I haven't gone live in like a week, I think. But we have been going live on Radio Rex's channel.
Yeah, like it's not like we haven't been live. It's just like we just haven't been live on this channel.
Right.
Yeah, you've been I love our. It's so funny because like we do our live streams are mostly just chats. You know, I love it. It's like live chat. It's so cool. Like I love Rex's live streams with the even though your drawing live streams are cool too. You should keep that up too.
Yeah, I like everybody wants me to do more drawing. I just haven't done them in a while.
You say the word and I will set the stream up for you.
See, that's the thing I gotta do. That's what I have to do.
Yeah, because you start to see like a lot of the followers really just want to come and communicate with you, and this is like my whole time getting into streaming and stuff. I kind of stumbled across it. You know what I mean? I didn't like really, so I never watched streamer, so I didn't know how it works or anything. But most of people just want to converse with you, man. It's not even really about what you're streaming. It's just about what the conversation's going, and people just kind of want to talk with you and hang out with you. So it's always a treat to see you guys on live.
Yeah, they don't even care what you're doing.
That's really like they really don't care what you're like actually doing. Like people just really want to talk. I think people just need. I think it's just different nowadays. I don't think people get to talk like they used to do back in like our day. I guess the internet is the new way to communicate. Period. The end.
Yeah, that and it's like just like content wise. I feel like like it's kind of weird for us because we're not of this generation, but like we always have. Hey, what's up, Akari? We're not of this generation, but we always have like like we had our things that we saw when we were kids. Like I used to wait to get home to watch like Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. There's
I know, right?
It was different back in the day.
Yeah.
It was a little different, but it was always one sided. Like you'll like this is like cool because it's like all right, kids get to like come and or whoever, like not just kids, but people get to sit down and watch us. But they can communicate with us, which is like we had no internet growing up.
Like unheard of in our day. Like you would never be able to talk to anybody like that.
Yeah, you wish.
Who the hell are you?
You have to like send a letter to a PO box and hope that they'll see it, and then you'll get chosen for them to mention you.
Yeah. That's really what it was like.
Yeah.
Send your letter to if you want to be mentioned. Send your letter to PO box something. You're like, okay, whatever. I never did it.
That's kind of how I first got published. I can't say what I got published in, but that's literally how I got published. I literally sent letters like that everywhere, and that's how you used to have to get noticed.
Yeah, no, seriously, that's how like Stephen King. I read like how he like every person who gets published and stuff, they get like rejected more than they don't. You know what I mean? And like I hear about Stephen King back in the day, man. Like I was reading, he wrote a book about writing. It was called On Writing. Very creative title, but it was called On Writing. Yeah. But he talked about how he got rejected over and over again, and he straight up would just send letters out to publishers. Day in and day out. It would just get rejected, and then he just like kept sort of shopping at the bit like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much how you have to deal with it, You
didn't know King Rex was an artist, bro? Come on, bro.
Yes, King Rex is an amazing artist.
I don't know why everybody calls me. Like, I guess I should have, in hindsight, literally named my channel that. I just thought it was very pompous, I guess.
And you don't
Wait,
think
did you get a suggestion for King Rex? Like,
Well, no, like we thought about it like a long time ago, but like I just never. I was like, nah, I'm good. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
like
yeah.
no, it's different for like you being the queen or whatever. But
Mhm.
like, it's like when you say I'm the Brick King, you know, it's like. You seem kind of like, you know, I'm flashing off, and I'm, you know,
that kind of makes sense. That kind of makes sense. I see what you're saying. Like you get away with it because you're. I don't know. It feels like King is like all the way at the top of the hierarchy.
yeah, I know, you're
Queen,
just
Queen
like,
sounds like a
wow, you know what I mean? Like, you know, it's like I don't have that kind of nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah. BrickQueen sounds like kind of cute, like BrickQueen. Hey,
Yeah,
I'm the BrickQueen.
yeah,
It's like,
you know what I mean?
I'm
Like,
here to rule everything Lego.
Yeah. But see, like Brick King sounds like I'm about to enforce law.
That is now an illegal technique. I'm sorry. That's funny. So, guys, we actually wanted to do this podcast. We wanted to talk about. So here's a funny thing, guys. We me and BrickQueen both grew up in a Pentecostal church, and like Pentecostal is like a very fundamental wing of Christianity, right? So it's like very fundamental, and it's something that like I hardly run into people who grew up in a Pentecostal church. You know, there's people that I grew up with that I know growing up with from that kind of went to that church, but I don't know about you, but I seldomly run into people who are like, yeah, I grew up Pentecostal, right?
Yeah.
So it's like me and BrickQueen just happened to like we stumbled across each other's so many mods. Yeah, this is a business meeting. We have so many mods in here.
That's right.
So we stumbled across each other just randomly anyway. Like she just came on my live stream. But then the fact that we were both Pentecostal, it's just kind of, I don't know, it's just kind of funny. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just to give you guys an idea, like, you know, the church that we grew up in, and this was like, you know, wasn't that long ago, like 20 years ago, you know, like early 2000s, you know, early 90s, you know, it wasn't that long ago. But the girls were not allowed to wear, at least in my church, I think it's probably the same. Most of this is probably the same. The girls were not allowed to wear pants. It was allegedly a sin to wear pants, or it was frowned upon. So if you lived in a place like we lived in Philadelphia, so it was cold, it was wintertime, and these poor girls had to wear skirts all year round. It was so ridiculous that they could wear pants in the wintertime, but it would have to be underneath a skirt. So it's like, it doesn't look, I guess it was like the illusion that you weren't wearing pants. I don't know.
Church didn't even allow that. I did not own a pair of pants until I was in 7th grade.
A pair of pants. And my daughter may or may not be on the chat. I know there's a conspiracy going on. But I can't imagine her. Like, I don't think she ever wore a skirt. Like outside of like cosplay. You know, I can't imagine she would not know a life where you're not allowed to wear a skirt. You know, it seems so weird. Right, that you can't wear skirts. And again, guys, this was 20 years ago. It's not like this was like
this is back in the day.
It's not like it was in the 40s or anything like that.
I know,
they're still doing that now.
That's what they make you feel like, though.
Yeah, this is like 2010. Yeah, like Eminem was on like the top 10 Billboard charts when we couldn't wear skirts. You know what I mean? Like this was like very recent. You know what I mean?
When it first came out,
yeah, like this is not like this is. Like freaking X-Men was out in the theaters and we couldn't
And we had no idea.
Nobody knew any different.
Yeah, we didn't know. That's what we didn't even know. Another thing we couldn't do that was funny. We couldn't listen to any secular music. So what that means is any music, essentially.
Yeah,
we couldn't listen to any music that was not Christian music. Right. So I want anyone out there to let me know how many Christian songs you know. You probably don't know many. If you're not in Christian, we can listen to any Christian music whatsoever. It didn't matter if it was bad, like if it was extremely vulgar, or if it was like Backstreet Boys. We weren't allowed to listen to any of it. You know what I mean? So they used to call it like worldly music for me. Like
it was secular at our church.
Secular, yeah. And our it was like mundano, which is like Spanish for worldly. You can listen to any worldly music. So and another thing, did you see the video I tagged you in earlier with that guy on TikTok or no?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's super funny. I tagged you in a video of some guy. And he does so he's like a gay guy and he does like this funny commentary. But he was talking about how like he grew up in a super fundamentalist church as well. And he always does like commentary on that. But he just says stories in like this auto-tune voice that cracks me up. And this one story was saying how like in a super fundamentalist church he grew up and everyone would talk about speaking in tongues. And so one day he just decided to speak in tongues and he started going shalalam. But he did like a whole story about it. It was hilarious. So it reminded me of you immediately. So
I have to check that out.
So, but did they speak tongues in your church or no?
Oh yes,
Did
absolutely.
they really? Yeah, and
Yes,
like the
and
Holy Spirit.
yes, they would
Especially-
act a fool up in the front of the church. They would like, speak in tongues and like run laps around the church like crazy people.
Run laps. They used to do that. Yo, they used to do that too in my church. It's so
Yeah.
funny how like throughout the country, like it's like the same routines were taking place. Like the same. Yo, so you guys don't know, like in a Pentecostal church, they used to say like you were possessed by the Holy Spirit, or like you felt it or touched. I don't know what the phraseology
Yeah.
was used. It was like you were possessed or possessed sounds like very demonic. So they
I
probably didn't
think
use
my church said you were filled with the Holy Spirit, is how they said it.
Yeah, I forgot how they said it. You were filled with the Holy Spirit, but pretty much what that means is that like you'll be at church, right? People will be worshiping God. They'll be praying like a regular church or like singing.
Right.
Out of nowhere, someone would start shaking, like would just start shaking crazy, uncontrollably, bro, uncontrollably, and that means that they were touched by the Holy Spirit. And in my church, it was sort of like you evolved to that. Like if you weren't dancing in the Holy Spirit, you weren't that tier of a Christian. Like you were a tier below. You know,
Yeah.
is that how it was on your church?
Yeah, that's how it was in mine too. Exactly.
It was like you were like a tier below. So it was like you could talk like the pecking order was you were a regular Christian. Then when you spoke tongues, you were evolving like a Pokemon.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
exactly.
your third stage of evolution was you like shaking and dancing in the Holy Spirit. And
Yeah.
it was
rolling around the floor,
They're rolling around the floor. And then when she said running laps, I remember like people used to run down the aisle of my church and run back. And you used to ask, but I have a crazy story, but about like a demon possession. Was it ultra? Did it get scary at times for you? Like when were they ultra like, oh, like they're fighting demons and stuff like that, or no?
So not at my church, but I actually, this is kind of funny. We went to like a big super church in Florida, like on it wasn't a mission trip. I forget what they call it, but
A convention?
It was more like a convention.
Yeah, they used to go on conventions all the time.
Yeah,
too,
we went to like this convention at a mega church in Florida, and there they did more of that. And so I kind of have a little taste of that, but it wasn't like all the time thing for me.
No, my church are kind of scary with that. Like there was like times where they would straight up be fighting demons, or somebody would say that like Satan's at the door and stuff like that. And so, but one time, I never forget this story, man. One time, my and it happened at the worst time because my sister invited a non-Christian girl to church. It was just her. Because one thing, when you go to a Christian church, and it doesn't really matter the denomination. It's all about like like trying to convert people, right? And like it's like you have the secret to how people could get to heaven, and you want to try to like expose. It's like how almost like it's like the same mentality of like a get rich quick scheme, or like one of those pyramids, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like you want to let people in on a secret, right? So
Right.
that's kind of. And guys, by the way, I'm not completely atheist or anything like that. I'm not like, just my personal views. I have like I believe there's some truth in the Bible and whatnot, and I try to live to a certain extent as if God is real to an extent, but I'm not like, that's just my personal beliefs. I'm not like a super atheist or anything like that. I'm just a little more agnostic. I'm not that crazy about it, like how they do. Or anything that, you know what I mean?
I still call myself a Christian, but like I don't actively go to church all the time or anything.
Yeah, same with me. And I don't like believe in the same way that they do. I don't think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I can say is that so one time so my sister invited our neighbor to church, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was the worst time for someone to get invited to church, bro. She got invited to church, and then so I had like this really cool friend. It was all these pews, right?
Yeah.
Already pews, right? And so my church, man, I had like a few, like I had some two friends who were really close to me. They're about my age at the time. I was like maybe like 12 or 13, right? And they had this sister of theirs that never, like, they always went to church, but they had a sister of theirs, an older sister that never really went to church that much. And her husband was into like Santeria, which is like kind of big in the Spanish and like the Caribbean communities and stuff like that. And like I grew up in a predominantly Puerto Rican area. I'm Puerto Rican, so they did a lot of like Santeria and stuff like that, right? And so one time our pastor wasn't there at the church, right? So it was like the worst time for this to happen. But I remember she was praying in the back with another girl. So it was my good friends, their older sister that never goes to church, and her husband was like into like Santeria and stuff.
Yeah.
She was praying in the back with another girl from church, and out of nowhere, their sister starts getting real crazy and starts like going wild, like she was demon possessed, like starts hitting the pews and just going crazy. And I remember like it took like 6 men to like bring her up to the front of the stage. They were like, I remember like certain like images of it. It was so long ago. And I remember like certain images of it. I remember like 6 guys like struggling to take her up stage. And she was screaming all this devil stuff like, she was going crazy, bro. She was going crazy. I remember being so scared because when I was a kid, I didn't know what was real or not. I was being so scared. I was just closing my eyes because I felt like the demons could get into your eyes, could get into your souls for some reason, right? They were like praying for her, and it just went on for hours and hours and hours. And then I remember one other part that I remember was at one time, like she tried to trick everybody that the demon was gone. She was like, "Is it gone?" He was like, "Yeah, it's gone. I'm good now. I'm good now." And then they just kept going. She just kept going, but like it was such a blur now as I'm older, and like it was so like natural. I think when I was young, that in my mind I wasn't like, let me try to really capture this moment. I felt like, okay, this is just a thing that happened. You know, I wish that I would have really. It's on video and stuff, but it was just such a weird thing. And I remember that girl that we took to church was like, bro, she's never gonna like. Imagine like your friend takes you to church for the first time, and like this whole thing is going on for like hours, bro. This lady was screaming and acting like she was demon possessed. I didn't know what happened, bro. I don't know if she like. I still think about that sometimes. It's like, why would someone act like that? You know what I mean? That's crazy. like if it was all acting, like why would someone act like that? Especially if you don't go to church. So that was a weird experience that I had one time at the Pentecostal church, but I'll never forget that. You know?
I bet. So what ages were you whenever you were in the Pentecostal church?
So from when I was born, we started off there until I was like 13 or so. Then I started going to like a non-denominational church, and that's like a church where it's like way different. They didn't dance in the Holy Spirit. It was more like teaching orientated and more like studying the Bible as opposed to like taking everything literal that's in the Bible. It was more like trying to understand what they meant and trying to take like context of like the culture at the time. So it was more of like a studying type thing, even though there's a lot of stuff I disagreed with that too, kind of the way they went about stuff. I disagreed with. Like I had a big thing with them and like, for example, like pot and like the legality of it and stuff like that. Kind of like there was some things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it felt like, and with church, it was just kind of like, but it was way different. Let me tell you that. It was way different. Everyone could wear pants. They weren't like taking the Bible that literally. They were more trying to study the Bible. So I appreciate that aspect. But there's just something about church that regardless of like the denomination, like Pentecostal, non-denominational, Baptist, whatever it is, there's like this whole little hierarchy thing that happens in church that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, bro, you don't know. Like to this day, the way I feel about like, so one thing that bugged me about like the whole pot smoking with them, and I hate to like not to get into drug use or anything like that, but the whole like pot smoking with them, it's like, okay, I always felt like it's sin. Like, you know, when you're sinning, like at least when I was like thinking of that time of that in that mind frame, in that mindset, I was thinking like, okay, like when you sin, it's like, you know, when you're sinning, it's like you feel like you did something bad. Like, you know, your conscience tells you when you're doing something bad. And I feel like that's what a sin is. I don't think God cares about like the little, like it makes no sense that you can smoke pot in New Jersey and it can be a sin in Jersey, but then you can smoke pot in California and it's not a sin in California. You know what I mean? It's like that shit never made any sense. It's like, you're not. That's not. You
created marijuana. So
like you think God thinks like that? Like, oh, you're in one state, you're sinning now. It's like, no. I think a sin is something that kind of gets in the way of your relationship with God. At least that's like how I sort of thought of it at the time. So every church I feel like kind of has like their own little. Something doesn't really.
That right Jesus did turn wine into water, so you know there is.
I know.
Yeah,
even in the Bible, Jesus, and then also Jesus died by religious people. Like it was religious people who killed Jesus. I mean, let's not forget that. So it's just like
the zealots actually. The zealots actually screamed for Barabbas more than they did for Christ.
All right, damn, we got a scholar over here. Okay, Rex.
Well, see, the reason I like this is where I'm going to bring in my part of religion. My brother actually was a preacher when he died. My brother died from a massive grand mal seizure when he was 27 years old.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
And he died right before he got his degree in theology. So I know a lot about religion. I just, you know, like that's why I can't really go to church and do a lot of things because I see a lot of hypocritical things, I guess. it's not that I have a problem with people going to church. It's just that I, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. I feel that way as well. I think that's the thing that turns me off about church the most. It's not like the religious. Well, it's not like the God aspect or like even like the metaphysical stuff. None of that stuff turns me off. It's more like the political stuff of church.
Yeah,
and people,
exactly.
And people feeling
surrounding it.
Yeah.
Yeah. People feeling like they have it figured out. And it's just like in any other group. It's like there's always people who like, get out of here, bro. You're speaking for God, really? You speak like it's such a personal thing. You know what I mean? I think like the Bible's at the end of the day, it was written by man, and I'm not discrediting it like some of the stuff that's in the Bible.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of truths in the Bible, man. I think it's ridiculous when atheists act like everything religious
There's
is
like nothing good in it. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that too. Like I hate evangelical people, and there's a lot of evangelical atheists out there, bro, that just feel like, oh come on, you got to figure it out, bro. Like you figured out how we got here. Like really, like like you didn't figure this shit out. You know what I mean? So it's like people could get very religious about atheism as well. You know what I mean? And it kind of rubs me the wrong way too. But it's mostly, I agree with Rex. It's mostly like the people surrounding religion that kind of rub me the wrong way.
That's what ruins it.
It absolutely is the people for me. I mean, like just my family personally. The reason that we left the Pentecostal church is 100% because of the people. See, whenever when I was 12, my older sister was 19, and my sister was kidnapped and raped.
Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, and
wow, my goodness.
Yeah, she had moved out of our house 5 weeks before, and a guy had broke into where she had just moved into, kidnapped her from there and raped her. But it was after that was the problem, because the Pentecostal church completely 100% turned on my sister. They all acted like it was her fault and that she had done something to deserve it.
Oh, so they like victim blamed her essentially.
Yeah, 100%. No one in the church would speak to her. Like she would go to services after that, and they just like acted like she didn't exist. They wouldn't speak to her because it was her fault, according to them.
But do you remember what their reasoning was, by any chance, or?
Yeah, she went to college. That was it. She
went to like a secular college. She was going to a secular college.
It was just like the college in our town. She went to college. She hadn't done anything per se. She just started college, and I guess she just wasn't supposed to, according to them. So that was the reason that we left.
Do you think it was because? Well, I mean, what? And let me just say this: there is like this culture of like this, like in my church, it was called disciplina, which is Spanish for discipline.
Mm-hmm.
This is I was raised past because then Pentecostal. But it was called discipline, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is if you get caught wearing a skirt or wearing pants as opposed to a skirt, or there was like this public shaming in my church, and you would have to sit in the back, and people knew you literally had to sit in the back of the church, and people knew, okay, she's in discipline, like she's in timeout essentially. She's in timeout because she did this and that. And there's always like some personal thing in your own life, like maybe like your husband and you got into an argument, or you cheated on your husband. Nothing that no one else would like. Everyone deals with this stuff. You know what I mean? And it's like it's personal stuff, and you would have to sit in the back and be disciplined. But it was done very publicly so that people knew, almost like setting an example. So, but I mean,
it was very much like that. And she didn't even going to college. She did not like wear pants or anything. She didn't, wear makeup, like, because you're not supposed to wear makeup. The women,
that's right.
Pants. You can't wear makeup. You can't cut your hair. You can't wear jewelry.
You know how ridiculous that is?
Yeah,
it's so ridiculous. It's like the men couldn't wear beards. Which is like I don't even understand how that's biblically accurate. Like
it's not.
Like it's not like they had like a Gillette shaving cream when Jesus was
alive. Well, have you seen Hasidic Jews? Do they shave their beards? No,
not at all. It's ridiculous.
So like here's I don't know. That's crazy.
And I used to go to church so much. It was another thing that it was so frequent. Like I used to go to church so frequent. Like they made sure that your life was about that church. I used
Oh
to. So
yeah.
it's almost like when you think about what's the difference between cult and religion. It's like, is there a difference between the cult and religion? I mean, it's sometimes I feel like we're splitting hairs because
Yeah.
how different like was our like what's the difference between like we were going to church. It's just 7 days in a week. We're going at least 5 to 6 days a week.
Yeah.
At least 5, right? They
Yeah.
were completely controlling the way we lived. We were completely brainwashed by it. We were bought out. At least our parents were. We felt like we were doing the right thing. We felt like we were doing what God wanted us to do. Like, how is that any different from a cult?
Yeah. Not much.
Let's read some of these comments here real quick. Let's see. Pirate Johnson. I was raised Baptist, then Pentecostal, non-orthodox, and less strict. Prefer a it happens philosophy to a lot of the things many people need religion explanation to credit hypocrisy and yeah, I kind of get what you're saying there.
Yeah.
You both as a couple are amazing to me for years. I look up to you both. Oh, amazing, amazing. I gotcha. You're so amazing that he misspelled the word amazing. Asian members' attitudes bothered me enough to remain. Yeah, but I agree. I think a lot of it was just like the people, the people in the church, and it's like it's kind of bad because they're kind of like bought into it too, and
Yeah.
for all intents and purposes, you kind of and like it's really hard for me to say this, particularly thinking of like your sister's experience, but it seems like they're in their mind. I feel like at least you want to think that they're convinced that what they're doing is right, in a way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is kind of almost like sad for them, because I was kind of bought into, but I specifically remember as a kid telling myself, like sitting at church and telling myself, I'm never going to put my kids through this. Like I remember that feeling of immediately once I'm immediately independent enough to not grow through this shit. I remember thinking, I'm not going through this shit. There's no way I'm doing this to myself. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah.
Like I see older people who like my mom, like I'm not doing this shit at all. The moment you give me freedom, I'm out of this bitch. I'm not doing any of this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I remember after we left the church, like my mom tried to get me to go back to visit, and I distinctly remember telling her, like, I will never set foot in that building again.
Dang.
And then like a few years after that, my mom was like, oh, well, one of our closest friends is getting married. And, it was a guy that like I grew up with, like I grew up like playing with him and his sister, we'd grown up together our whole lives practically. And they were like, oh, he's getting married. And I was like, oh, great. Well, where's the wedding? And they were like, in our old church. I was like, well, sorry, I'm going to have to miss it. And they were like, are you kidding? I'm like, no, I told you I will never set foot in that church again. And I'm never going to set foot in that church again.
Absolutely. Especially, I mean, that's crazy. So, but did you, was it the breaking point with your sister that kind of did it, or?
Well, see, they had always treated me badly also. Like the older people in the church had always picked on me. And, I didn't like it there in the first place.
Nice.
But yeah, my sister's thing was the breaking point, because it just broke my heart, because I still remember the night that, it happened. I remember her calling my mom, and I didn't know that it was her calling. I just knew that she had been raped, and I didn't even know if she was dead or alive at that point. And, my parents rushed out. I still remember, it's like, I close my eyes and I still see the whole thing playing out again. So it was just extremely traumatic for me. So I just couldn't deal with the people in that church afterwards.
No, I hear you. I remember when I went back to the church. I left for a while, then I went back, and I kind of wanted to go back just to show them how different I was, and kind of just to show them how, like, look, screw you guys. Like I've seen the world. You know what I mean? Like I kind of went back and just kind of wanted to show off. I remember how like just how different I was, and how like look, there's more out here than this weird little cult that you're in.
Yeah.
So I kind of went back for that. So I was kind of like looking forward to going back at some point for that, but it was just for that only. And I never I have no interest in going to that. I had no real fond memories of that church, anything like that. But how did your sister deal with that situation? Like, did she leave church right away after that, or?
Yeah, she did. I I remember my sister just being very quiet after that. She just was extremely withdrawn. You know, I know that it was bothering her, but she didn't talk about it. She was just really quiet after that.
Did she try to stay in the church, or?
For a little while, but it happened in July of 2000, and I don't know exactly when we left, but I know that it was before school started. So it had been within a month after it happened, we had left the church. Like the whole family had left.
Oh, so everyone left the church. So do you feel like your mom kind of had your sister's back on it a little bit, or?
She did, because, I mean, I think my mom had some trouble leaving because the people in the church told her that if she left the church, she was going to lead her family to hell. So
that's such a cult mentality, is it not?
It is. Yeah. I mean, like
a cult mentality.
They made it really hard for her, but my mom did finally decide to leave. And we ended up, I don't know if you're familiar with Assembly of God, but we went from Pentecostal to Assembly of God, which is sort of like Pentecostal light.
Yeah.
They basically believe like all the same things, except like you don't have the same restrictions, like, you know, with the pants, the hair, that kind of stuff. Those restrictions aren't there anymore. But they believe all the same stuff. Like they were still speaking in tongues and that kind of thing. But they were wearing pants doing it.
Oh yeah. So they were it's like that's funny. Like I need to stop doing this. I messed up again. I'm just gonna talk to you guys. Whatever. I'll do this off camera.
Yeah.
It's the doom. They all hold us your head. Yeah, no, that's what it is. So that is like I watched a show of my daughter called like Polygamy something, but it's about like a cult pretty much, and these people trying to escape these cults. And they do make you feel like you're so bought into it that they make you feel like you're like it makes you feel like you're dooming your family if you don't leave. Like you're that bought into it.
Yeah.
And I remember like anyone who leaves a Pentecostal church, like my mom talked about even now, like she'll say, "Man, I'm so sorry for like what I put you guys through and stuff like that." And she'll be like super remorseful about it. My mom wears pants all day, but like now, her hair is short. She wears pants like years ago, that would never be my mom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when she says like she feels guilty and stuff like that, and she's still like is always going to be like a Christian woman. You know what I mean? Like, she still has her faith in God. She doesn't go to church or anything like that, but she still has her faith in God and stuff like that. But she'll tell me like every now and then, like she'll feel bad of like what we put her, what she put us through and stuff like that. You know?
Yeah.
Because I think like she kind of to a certain extent kind of recognizes that she was like in a cult kind of, or she was like kind of brainwashed by the whole thing also. So. You know?
Yeah.
And it is a twisted version of Christianity. It is, because I think there's a lot of good from Christianity, you know? And like I said, a lot of it comes from like the people and all the bad. But there's a lot of good in Christianity. Like if you just take, and again, when there's atheists who just like believe everything Christianity is bad. It's just like so stupid.
Yeah.
Everything religion is bad, which is just so stupid. I mean, these texts for one reason or another have been preserved for longer than we can even think of. You know what I mean? So there must be some sort of truth. Even if you look at the 10 Commandments, like that's just truth. Like that is truth. You'll probably have a better life if you don't like, you know, fuck your neighbor when you're married. You know what I mean? Or if you don't kill people, you're probably going to be better off if you don't steal from people. You know, that's all good advice, and it's all true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's some truths in the Bible.
Sure.
But almost like there's a lot of truths in you know, in like Disney movies or in fairy tales and stuff like that. Like these are archetypes, and there's some good things in it that you can take from it, you know. And there's a lot of people look at the metaphysical stuff and they try to discredit it and say, well, Jesus really walked on water. That's not how I look at the Bible. You know, I don't look at it in a way that like, okay, I'm not going to die on the hill that Jesus walked on water. You know what I mean? I never saw anyone walk on water, you know what I mean? But I'm not going to use that to sort of discredit everything that's in the Bible. You know what I mean? There's some good things in the Bible. And one of the things like where like I had issues with was growing up, and it's like raising a kid was like at the minimum, you know, I feel like that gave me some kind of a moral compass. And like I said, even just the 10 Commandments and stuff like that, you know. So I am glad in a way that I wish it didn't, you know, I wish it wasn't in that respect, like the way like through Pentecostals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I am glad in a way that I had some sort of moral foundation built into me. You know what I mean? Like that hole was filled for me, and I kind of knew even as I got older, I expanded on those sort of beliefs and stuff like that, and then I kind of put my own twist on it and I looked at it. But at least I had that. I knew the difference from right from wrong. Like something growing up, like with a daughter, like it's raising a kid. I was always concerned with like, okay, I'm not raising her in church. Where is she gonna get like this moral compass from? Like what am I gonna replace Christianity with? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I do try to even we were never too pushy on God, but I always did when she was real younger. I mentioned God, and it's just like easier for her to believe in God at a certain age. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't believe in God now. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying so. But it's just something that I had a concern with. Raising a kid is kind of like, all right, if I'm going to take this from you, what am I going to replace it with? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
That was pretty rough on me, but do not know. But I think every mass religion is evil. I do agree about metaphysical stuff. We are each on our own as far as the soul goes. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think every religion is bad. Like I said, I think there's good in religion. I think people make shit bad, bro. I mean, look, people make shit bad, bro. I mean, people killed Jesus, not religion, or people killed I mean, the Crusades were done by people, not a book. You know what I mean? Like, it's like people misinterpret religion and then they act upon it in their own ways. But just like people use politics as a bad thing, people use religion as a bad thing. So it's like a cop out to blame, to take the responsibility off of the individuals doing fucked up shit. And then you say it's religion. Religion is bad. No, people act bad, but there's a bunch of good that people do in religion. Are you kidding me? Like there's a bunch of like donations and all type of altruistic work that's done in the name of religion. There's probably more good stuff done in the name of religion than there is bad stuff. You know what I mean? Like no one hates Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa wasn't like hanging people or like that. Love her or not. I mean, like her and dislike her or her beliefs. She was doing good in the world. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of religious people who do great in this world. You know what I mean? I can't just say religion.
Depends on the person.
Yeah,
and
depends on
how they're gonna act with it. I remember, even in my church, there were good people and bad people, and if I wanted to sit here and name names, I could tell you who I thought was bad. But
we won't know who they were, but they would if they were watching this.
Right.
So that's funny. Has anyone ever on because you got pretty successful on YouTube? Has anyone ever saw you from your old church and say, "Hey, it's you," or something like that, or no? Or they're like not allowed to watch YouTube, probably.
Well, whenever it's funny because I've noticed that it's changed since we left that church. Because I remember whenever I was there, we weren't even supposed to watch TV. Much less get on Facebook or YouTube or any kind of social networking. You weren't supposed to use the internet. You weren't supposed to get on TV. And it cracked me up so much because so the preacher in the church, he was an older guy, and his grandkids would occasionally come and visit. And they were, what is the nice way to say this?
Assholes.
They were like Ryan.
They were like crying Ryan.
Yeah.
Well, the word is hypocrite.
Well, see, they thought that they owned the world. At their house, they each had their own wing of the house. It was that kind of thing.
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah. And so whenever they came to town, I was the same age as, I think I was the same age as the guy, but the girl was a year younger. And so because I was the only one their age, I was expected to go spend time with them. And so we would hang out at the preacher's house because that's where they were staying while they would visit. And man, I remember them showing me that the preacher had a TV in his house when we weren't supposed to watch TV. And it was connected to cable and everything else. And they were like, "Oh, that's not a TV."
We told you it's not a TV. That's a toaster. My grandpa told me.
I cannot remember what they called it, but it was they had a special name for it. It was something other box. But they would not call it a TV. And I was like, "That's a TV. You have a TV." And they're like, "No, it's not a TV." I was like, "Dude, that's a TV." You're literally you have exactly what you're preaching against in your house.
That's so funny. The fact that they were like convincing themselves that it's not a TV.
Yeah.
That's so weird. That's so funny. They're like they thought like if they can name it differently, then it's not what it really is.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Like, why do you want to make it harder? God never said you couldn't have a damn TV.
Yeah,
Why
there
do
were
you
no
want to make it
TVs.
harder on yourself?
There were no TVs. You're making it easier by not exposing yourself to stuff that can make you sing, Rex. Come on, keep up.
Since we're not like naming specific names,
Rod
I
and
will
Todd.
say, yeah, just talk, you know. This is like, let me give you a taste of what kind of man this preacher was. When his wife was dying of cancer in the hospital, he was not with her. He was cheating on her.
Preacher?
Yes.
Then he did
The preacher. This was like after I had left the church, but I did find out about it because it's a small town. Everybody knows everybody.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like super hypocritical. It's always the preachers that are the worst, bro.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like that's something that an atheist wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like wrong. You know what I mean? This guy's like the head of the church.
Yeah.
But actually that reminds me, the pastor at our church, like years later, ended up marrying his cousin.
Oh.
Yeah, take that in. Take that in. That's crazy.
Man.
He ended up marrying his cousins, but it's always like the preachers who do the worst. It's so funny.
Yeah.
And I kind of get it a little. Well, I don't get their decision making, but I kind of get it's like, no, I get it from this perspective. It's like, look, now from being just like an adult human, like I understand. It's like, bro, you're trying to act like, you know how hard it is. Like the whole thing about Christianity is forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
It's accepting the fact that you're gonna sin, you know, and Christ is gonna forgive you. It's not about, and that's what makes Christianity separate from a lot of other religions like Muslims or Islam, where it's like really works orientated, where it's just like, you know, you have to count the steps to your mosque. Well, I hear like some Muslim people count the steps to the mosque. It's all about deeds, right? How good of a person you live here, and then you work your way to heaven. So the better you do here, the better your life is going to be in heaven. Christianity is the opposite of that. It's all about forgiveness. That's the whole emphasis. It's like, okay, you are going to mess up here, bro. We're all human. We're all going to fuck up. But God is going to forgive you. That's what the whole thing is about. As long as like your mindset is in repentance, then it's like you're going to understand that you're going to mess up, going to be forgiven, right? But these preachers act like it's deed orientated, and they do act like, okay, they're going to be. That's like when, you know how many pastors get caught like doing crack with like a male prostitute. You're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? You're like, whoa, you guys like really, he's like really hit the gas. You know what I mean? It's like you guys went from not sitting to like is hitting the gas. You know?
Yeah, it's like it's just like Joel Osteen. Like I think he's got in trouble multiple times cussing his wife out on the side of the freeway, but nobody talks about that.
Alongside of the freeway?
Yeah,
really?
He's had multiple incidents of that happening. But you know, what is it? Franklin Graham's, or which is that one that was hanging out with the pool boy, messing with his wife? You know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the one
I know
with
exactly
the Liberty University guy. Yeah.
Yeah, that Liberty University guy. I just
The
can't think
Liberty
of his
University
name now.
guy literally lets the pool boy have his wife. So you know they
while
don't
he watches.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like they deprive themselves from just like you try, not that you deprive yourself. It's like, bro, like that's exactly what you're doing. You're depriving yourself from like natural, like, you know, look, I don't want to get all weird here, but people have wet dreams, for example, right? And it's just like, it's like, okay, part of it's like biological, man. Like your body, like every mammal is here to mate. You know what I mean? To a certain degree, like it happens. You know what I mean? Like you have to try to. It's just gonna happen, and these people like deprive themselves of it. And then because being a pastor in any degree, even if you're not someone doing crack with the pool boy, right? even if you're not like smoking meth with the pool boy, you're still like, you have an added level of pressure because it's like you're preaching the word of God. So it's like you really want to try to make sure you're on point as most as you can, right? But these people have this facade, and they put this facade up as if like, you know, they really lean into the fact that they're like, okay, they're little Christ, they're little Jesuses, and they can't do any sin or anything like that. Yeah. So it's like they get on one retreat 1 week in a year, and they just go all out. I feel like they just let it all out. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, I'm getting a gay prostitute, I'm going all the way in, fuck it. You know what I mean? I'm going all the way in, you know? Because this is like, you know, you're human, man. It's like, but you're overlooking like a real congregation will look at a pastor when he sins and say, okay, you're a human like me, man. You know, as long as you feel bad for it and you're trying to repent and you're trying to get things right and you're confessing about it and you're talking about it, and it's okay. You don't have to act like you're, you know what I mean? And I get the pressure of it, but it's just like, man, you know, so I just feel like these people.
Yes, but that's an evolved stance, man. We're not talking about societal. That's not like that's what a rational, normal person would come to the conclusion.
Yeah, would come to think, right? Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, one second. God damn it! I keep messing up. I'm still like trying to do this one piece, and like I can't even concentrate. Whatever. I'm just gonna leave it on, and I'll do it later. Let's see. Let's see if there's any comments here. Actually, there are things like the woman wearing pants that you can only find on your own with the help of God. Pirate. It was half joke based. It's a joke. I don't know what's going on. BrickQueen, Ned Flanders, I think is from a church. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You reminded me of Rod and Todd. That's why I said Rod and Todd from The Simpsons. You know. It's funny. I guess no. It's so funny. No one. It's kind of hypocritical of my church too, that no one said don't watch TV, but everyone you couldn't listen to music. I feel like no one wanted to give up their TV. They're like, we're not going to talk about we're not going to talk about the TV thing.
I didn't care what religion I did. Whenever people told me I couldn't listen to religion, I would have left. I literally would have left at home, life, everything. And she would tell you the truth, wouldn't I?
Oh yeah.
I literally would have left my home. Anything I had to do, if anybody tried to tell me I couldn't listen to music, I would have left. I would have starved on the street and died.
Yeah.
See, I remember when I was in the Pentecostal church, it was like you couldn't even listen to like Christian rock. Like even that was bad. It was like basically hymns only. That was the only thing that was.
Oh wow. That's like
when I went to the Assembly of God, like we added in Christian rock, and I remember thinking that was great that I could listen to something besides hymns.
Oh, that's so funny. The fact that you were happy about Christian rock.
I look back.
Shows how deprived you were. Shows how deprived you were. It's like it's like now you can have sugar instead of Splendid. Oh, I can have sugar. You're right. What about? No, but it's funny because I think my dad kind of, I don't know, in a weird way, TV kind of helped me out a lot thinking of it because it kind of did give me that sense of like reality a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I grew up, and that and my friends, like I grew up loving The Simpsons. You know what I mean? Like The Simpsons really shaped my humor in a lot of ways, and like I don't know, for me it was such a pivotal show. Like it really shaped, and I guess maybe that's why I'm so cynical now, maybe kind of to a certain extent. But like I remember me and my friends talking about The Simpsons, like my secular friends, and I remember it was just such a big thing for me. Like just about like most of our jokes were kind of orientated in the same vein as The Simpsons growing up. But I know it's kind of funny.
Deal back in the day.
What was it?
Simpsons were a big deal back in the day.
They were a big deal. They were funny, and they were just like I think now it's like every other show is cynical.
Yeah, like everything is just copied off of it. Yeah,
I know, like Family Guy, and they kind of like, and then they kind of take it to the 10th degree a little bit. But The Simpsons was and it's still on air. Yeah, but I mean, it's not like it was like back in the day. It's still on air now, but like because like that kind of comedy is kind of saturated TV. It's like it's not really. It doesn't like
it's not as edgy as it used to be.
Yeah, not even edgy. It was just so clever back then, and it was just so funny. And you know what I mean? Now it's just like it's everywhere because of that. And any good show would kind of, I think any creator of like any good show now, Bob's Burgers, Family Guys, always credits The Simpsons because it was such like
it was the first OG, like the one that broke the dam when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it helped me. Like, I think it kind of gave me a weird way, and like in a weird way, a safe space to kind of just be like, kind of like lean into that part of my personality. Yeah, I guess normal. Yeah, I guess whatever normal is, but you know, kind of lean into that part of my personality, you know. And then I had like a lot of my friends might have been some of them were Christian, but my real good friend Mike was like a straight up. He was an atheist. But his family didn't really give a fuck about church, you know. Like he told me, I was like, "You guys go to church?" And he would always say, "No, we try to go to church for a while." My mom was like, "Fuck this, I can't get up every Sunday." So they were like a little more like, I guess, like a little more normal about it than what we were. We were like church fanatics. He used to always laugh at me because, like, if you didn't have a car, like a van would pick you up for church. Did they have that for you guys or no? I guess I don't know if everyone had cars for you or.
The Pentecostal church didn't, but Assembly of God did.
Yeah, they used to have like this van that will pick you up, and and we used to go to church like every other day, like or back to back. Like I'm not lying, like 5 to 6 days times a week. It was
Oh
school
yeah.
and it was church. And my whole life was the two things I hated most. It was like school and church. And so yeah, I used to hate it so much. But yeah, my mom, like the way you say van in Spanish, or at least Puerto Ricans will say wawa, la wawa. And so my mom, everyone used to make fun of me, bro, because my mom would be waiting for the church van to come. All you hear was la wawa, like la wawa. Like you see all these kids coming out the house in like their little like ties, like getting into church. You know what I mean? dress pants and ties, getting into church. And so my friends used to come out like, "Hey Manny, what la wawa?" Leave me alone, leave me alone. I know. And then believe it or not, I had like the most like abusive mom of all my friends too. So she was like the most Christian, but she was the one that like everyone knew. That same friend whose mom wouldn't go to church, like even though we played all the time, like I remember they would not be allowed into my house because there would just like be so much screaming in my house that like they would not let them in my house. Like her mom was like, "No, you can't go over his house. You can play on his porch." I don't want you inside that house.
And it's so funny, like, you guys talk about like the Simpsons and stuff. Like, see, I was in the Assembly of God until I guess it was my second year of college. And so like I never saw like the Simpsons until I was an adult.
Oh yeah.
I didn't see, Simpsons, Family Guy, anything like that. I didn't see any of it until I was an adult. Like Rex has had to like show me so many old movies and TV shows and stuff that I missed growing up because I was not allowed to watch anything like that.
Well, you were a far better Christian than I was.
Far better. It was like strictly not allowed. Not that I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, yeah. For some reason, now that you say that, like it's just kind of weird that my church wasn't too obsessed about TV, even though TV has like it's worse. You would think it's more of a gateway because it has like audio and a visual element to it. You know what I mean? Like music is just strictly like audio. You know what I mean? That had like a whole video, like you know what I mean? Like a music video is just as bad as a song. Plus, you can see more. You know what I mean? So you can actually see stuff. So I wonder why they weren't so. I don't know. These just pick and choose.
Was your church into like anointing stuff?
Oh yeah, all that stuff. They used to put oil on my forehead.
They would tell us that we needed to anoint. I'm trying to remember how they phrased it. It was like anoint all the places in your house where the devil could come in. So like the windows, the TV, like
so that's hard to do.
Windows, doors, TV, radio, anything like that. They were like, you have to anoint it and pray over all of those things.
Well, then they ought to pray out to the grass. It literally says he's the principality. So,
that's so stupid. That's so, I remember like my family praying that like, I was always scared of like demons. When I was a kid, like demons. I felt like there was a real spiritual battle. You know what I mean?
But she can tell you right now that like I was willing to fight her preachers for her at one point.
Like fight her preachers?
Yeah, like biblically.
Well, like I mean,
like debate them.
Yeah, like
I don't want to get into exactly what happened with the Assembly of God Church, but I did have a big falling out with them, and it's just, I know it's been years ago, but it's still kind of uncomfortable for me to talk about what happened there. But point is, I did have a falling out with them, and Rex and I weren't dating at the time. We were friends though, and he really wanted to go debate my preacher because
I did. I told you right off the bat I would clean his plate when it came to what he knows about religion.
I know you. There's no question that Rex knows way more about the Bible than that guy ever did. That guy always said, like I remember in the pulpit, the preacher would, the Assembly of God one, he would always say like that he would never have been a preacher if he hadn't injured his knee and stopped him from playing baseball. He was like, I always wanted to play baseball, but I had a knee injury, so I just decided to be a preacher instead.
He settled for his calling.
Yeah.
He settled for his calling.
Exactly. He settled for it. But I mean, the falling out there, it was more personal than the Pentecostal one. It was something that happened to me personally, not a family member kind of deal.
I got you.
And so,
and that's kind of how like I was kind of like when I went to the non-denominational church, I was relieved. I felt like they, and there was a part of me that still kind of believed in the whole thing, and kind of wanted to believe in it and stuff like that. And even now, like I said, like that's still in me a little bit. I'm not one to like I'm never gonna denounce God altogether, and that's just even though I'm like more of an agnostic. And at this point, it's more of the fact that like I won't denounce anything. Like I'm not putting my eggs in any basket. Not all my eggs in any basket. You know what I mean?
We have to be that way. Our generation's that way.
Yeah.
No, I feel like okay, no one has this shit figured out. Are you kidding me? Like if you knew how we got here and you knew where we go, bro, like you solved the mystery of the world. Like are you kidding me?
No got it already.
No one.
Be
exactly.
better.
Exactly. So maybe Islam is right. Maybe Christianity is right. Maybe atheism is right. Like who knows? I don't. And I admit that. I admit that I don't know that. You know what I mean? So I'm not I'm not going to be a devotee to anything like that. You know what I mean? But I remember when I joined the non-denominational church, I did feel kind of like okay, they kind of know. I felt like their approach to it was a little more logical. And maybe that's how you felt with like the Pentecostal light. I felt like their approach was a little more logical, it was a little more study based, and they put a little. But then there was just shit like, again, like with the whole like, there's one guy trying to tell me what look when it comes to Christianity, my whole strife with it was like, okay, it's a relationship based religion. The whole thing is about your relationship with Christ, your personal walk with God. That's what the whole thing of Christianity is. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna tell. So again, they used to tell me like I'm struggling with smoking weed or they would say I was struggling with smoking weed at the time, right? And it's kind of like okay, but if this isn't affecting my relationship with Christ, then why the hell do you care? Or how are you gonna tell me it's a sin? Like it doesn't say it's not one of the 10 commandments. You can't smoke pot, right? Like that. You know what I mean? Or you can't like Jesus made something that made people inebriated.
About it.
like to Rex's point, like Jesus made something that. He made some really good shit too. He made like the best wine, right? The Bible says it's like the best wine, right? He got people real fucked up. Like it was getting people inebriated all the time, So that goes to show that okay, getting inebriated is not an issue so long as it doesn't dominate your life. If you're an alcoholic, then
that's a problem, right? If it's you, that's the problem, right?
Exactly.
And here's another thing that I'm going to blow people's mind with. The F word wasn't created until the 16th century, so. Before that, the F word didn't even exist. So how is it a cuss word in Jesus Christ's time?
No, like you think Jesus Christ cares about your vernacular? Like what the fuck? I don't think he cares about the noises coming out of your mouth. I mean, not that I don't want to say. Look, I mean, obviously, language is a big part of of the Bible, any Bible and stuff like that. Like there is words are a big part of life. Like words represent. They're not just noises coming out, right? They have meaning.
Right.
Yeah.
I get that. But you think Jesus Christ cares about if you said the F word? I mean, that sounds so stupid to me. That sounds so dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it just doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't, in the grand scheme of things, you think God really cares if you say the F word?
No, I don't think he cares. I think, and my whole thing was like, okay, God, the way I looked at it was, God looked at your heart, and God looks at like I said, and I still feel this way. When you're sinning, bro. Like when you do something that's fucked up and your conscience is telling you not to do it, and you do it anyway. I don't care if it's in the 10 Commandments or not. Like that feels like a sin to me. I feel like you're rejecting your morality. Like you're ignoring your morality.
You're doing something wrong.
Exactly. Like you're not living up to the ideal version of yourself. Like you're being the opposite of who you want to be. You're doing it consciously. I feel like that's a sin or something that would. In my way of thinking at that time would be something that's like gonna put a wedge between you and your relationship with Christ. If you're trying to grow in this, so it's like, how the fuck are you gonna tell me what's a sin? And then it used to just bug me. Like they would be so judgmental about the smoking weed thing, smoking pot.
Yeah, that's the one thing that generation just doesn't understand. Like they've got to understand that like that kind of stuff like that is just so outdated. It is beyond a level of outdated that it's just laughable at this point.
Yeah, I don't know what it is with pot in particular. Like baby boomers hate pot.
I know they hate it. They hate it, and it's better. It would be better if you got this generation completely plastered off pot than become alcoholic. Like it would be physically, everybody would be better. better than
You're
if
not
they
even
ever
lying.
even became a bunch of alcoholics. It's true.
You're not even lying. I know, but I know, and it's funny. The irony is, all these baby boomers grew up with like their husband, like their grandpas beating them up because they were too drunk. I was like,
Yeah.
some more casserole. What is this? And he was like, beat their wife because the dinner wasn't right. Or
Yeah,
something.
right.
I mean,
Like, woman, get out to the field.
I don't know, what is this crap. You know, like
Yeah.
my dad, his grandpa used to beat him up in the 60s, 70s. You know, he was a drunk. You know what I mean? It's like these people grew up with like alcohol ruining everyone's life, and they would prefer their kids to be alcoholics over pot. You know what I mean? But that's so funny. And then I talked about this on my live streams too. It's like there's like Gen X. What was it? Gen X. It's like the kids that came
Gen
after.
X is the one that's like, yeah.
Gen X is like kind of weird because it's like some of them are like on the millennial side and they're super cool about stuff.
They're 50-50. Like Gen X is weird. Like my sister's Gen X and she like wants to be a total Puritan. But like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like I just they're in this odd autonomous zone where they only see black and white.
Yeah.
They don't see the gray at all.
Some of them, it's like they're like you'd think that like I was for a long time I was waiting for the baby boomers. So this is gonna sound kind of messed up, but theoretically like not that I don't want individuals to die.
I get it.
I was waiting for them to die out. You know, I feel like baby boomers are the only reason why there's still cable TV is because of baby boomers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You get it. We all waiting for that moment.
Yeah, we're all waiting for them to go. Everyone can be streaming on Netflix and shit. You know what I mean? No one's gonna be worrying like waiting till 6 p.m. to watch Wheel of Fortune anymore. None of that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then but there's like this
our senators are at least in their 40s and 30s.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. So all the politicians that are fucking us up are like still baby boomers too, I feel like. But either way, but then it's like there's like you're right, there's like a split. It's like 50-50. Like there's some Gen X that are just like keeping the baby boomer mindset strong. And then there's like there's like the other branch of Gen X that are more on the millennial side.
Yeah, they really get it.
Yeah, they grew up with the internet, kind of like the millennials. A little bit before, they were using WordPress. You guys remember WordPress?
Yeah.
Yeah, like the Gen X were like using. If you were using WordPress in like the early 90s, you're probably on the cool side of the Gen X. But yeah, but it is kind of 50-50 with the Gen X folks.
Gen X is weird. They could go one way or the other.
Yeah,
they're keeping the baby boomer spirit alive.
Yeah, they got to keep that fire.
That's true.
Keep the fire.
What are you guys millennials technically or?
Yeah.
I'm literally like probably one of the first millennials.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I never can remember what years they.
I don't want to start, but I'm one of the early ones. I'm
millennials.
87, so.
Oh, you're definitely a millennial, yeah.
I'm like the baby boomer millennial. Like that's what I am.
We got 87. I'm 88.
You're 89.
You're 89. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm the elder millennial.
Yeah, you're the elder millennial. You got a little bit of baby boomer blood in you, a hint of it.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. My mom and dad, like she can tell you, my dad is literally was born in 47. He literally is the definition of a baby boomer.
Oh, wow.
That's the year when it started. And my dad is not as nearly as big of a dick as any of these fucker out there saying that they're baby boomers.
It's funny because his parents are like the beginning of the baby boomers, and my parents are like the end of the baby boomers.
Yeah. Hers are the end of the baby boomers, and mine are the beginning of the baby boomers.
Yeah, but yours are more conservative than his parents?
Yeah, my mom and dad are very liberal.
Yeah,
you have those cool.
I was always liberal, and she was very conservative. And my dad's literally the definition of baby. So maybe they're getting a bad rep.
No. I feel like there's always people. Yeah, but there's always cool people in each generation. You know what I mean? Like there's always liberal. There was always like progressive people, and you just happen to have like those cool progressive parents. You know, like if you think about baby, like hippies was in the 60s. Like so, there must have been some cool baby boomers. You know what I mean? Like there was
totally some cool. I know that. Like my mom and dad are totally baby boomers, and they're really cool people. She can tell you that.
Yeah, my parents are not cool people. I really like my in-laws way better.
No, my parents are were, but then I feel like they changed. They changed with me. Like I feel like we both grew out of like my mom's still very much so a baby boomer. Like not in a sense like she kind of like all her kids are millennials, so she kind of gave up. And we're all like knee deep in millennials. We're not like fuck any of that religion shit. We all rebelled from religion. We're all like, short of like being in jail and like, on crack right now.
You're doing all right.
Yeah. We went our own route. We're like, man, the moment the handcuffs were released, we started having kids and shit. We started getting crazy. Like we started going,
you good?
Yeah, we're like, fuck that shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, so my mom, like, we kind of forced her to accept a lot of things. So my mom would never, God bless her soul. I give my mom a lot of shit, but I love her to death. She's like one of those people that she would never, her kids come before anything. You know what I mean? Before religion, before any of that stuff. So, as much as she loves her religion, like her kids come first. You know what I mean? And I kind of respect that about her, But she so like she kind of like she was like, look, I'm not gonna keep fighting my kids, So I think we kind of helped her grow and kind of started accepting new stuff and kind of started saying, okay, well, I think through us she kind of grew, but she's still a millennial in the sense of, a baby boomer in the sense of like, she wants her cable. She works on a schedule. She's like, oh wait, Law and Order comes on at 7.
Yeah. It's literally gotta be a system.
Yeah.
They literally say TV. Gotta do it right.
True.
Gotta have your news. Gotta have your stuff. You know what I mean?
It's definitely a system. That's like the perfect way to say it. That's a perfect way to say it. They have a system. Maybe have a system.
With my mom, I remember like growing up, like between 12 to 2, like you did not touch the television. That was time for her soaps.
You see, like my mom, like I think she watched one soap opera the entire time I was alive, and that was like before I was born.
We were all about Days of Our Lives.
Yeah, like stuff like that, like back in like the 70s type stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I still remember like the day that my mom quit watching soap operas. Because this should tell you like how Southern and conservative like my family is.
Getting checked.
My mom on one of her soap operas, she saw 2 guys kiss, and that was the end of soap operas.
I've been my mom's been watching General. I've been watching General Hospital since I was 8 years old. There's no way, never. This is just horrible. That's a big deal. Even look, even people now find that a big deal, man. Which I find amazing. Which is like pretty.
I couldn't care less, but like, the way I was raised, like, that was like so awful.
That's
like my mom would still find that awful. Like, I mean, obviously I'm married. I'm not gonna swing the other way now. I mean, or ever. But like,
don't get Rex's hopes high. Hold on.
I'm really pretty sure that if I had, I would have been disowned.
For sure.
I was flat out told that I would be disowned if I brought home somebody from another race.
From another race?
Yes, absolutely.
Damn, that's not even religious. That's just racist.
Yeah. in high school, I had a friend that was mixed race, and she was like one of my closest friends in school, but my mom would not allow me to have her at my house. And one day I brought her home anyway, because we were like seniors. We were getting ready to go to prom and stuff.
Yeah, so it's your fucking friend. You're like, whatever. I love this.
Yeah.
Friend.
Like, so I brought her to my house, and my mom ended up liking her, but still was like,
I don't know.
She's not all white, and I'm not happy about that. I was like, mother.
I think you just met the content of her character, and you still
you like her.
You like her. Something about you is still like. It's so funny. That's so messed up, but it's hilarious. So, but it's. I mean, it isn't, but it is.
Yeah.
Did she still like that, or do you think she kind of grew out of it, or?
I mean, I don't think she's as bad. She is to an extent still like that, but it's not as bad.
Yeah, it's never gonna go anywhere. I mean, if you're kind of raised like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a certain sense. But the good thing is like it's so hard to be racist nowadays with mainstream media and all that stuff. You know what I mean? It's like you have to really keep it. You have to really at least act like you're not racist, which is a good thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the bare minimum, right? like at least try.
It's so true though. It's like you gotta at least act like you're not racist nowadays, you know? It's just like a good thing, you know. I'm almost done. Actually, I'm moving along. Where are you at on this?
Oh, I finished the bag I was working on. It's
Okay,
connected now. See?
I'm almost done. You guys, you mind waiting to
No, hey man,
Oh,
you
no,
take
go
as much.
ahead.
Man, we're here for as long as you want to go. Like this is millennial therapy.
That's
We can't
right.
afford it, and nobody cares about us, so we have to all find each other and talk.
I don't know. I appreciate it, bro. I appreciate it. That's what the thing was, man. This is all very therapeutic, man. So
Yeah.
that's funny. No, but that's funny. So my mom wasn't. She wasn't like she wasn't too racist. My mom's not racist at all, though. I don't want to give that impression. My mom's not racist. She but so my sister married a black guy, and at first I felt like they were a little iffy about it. You know, they're from the 60s. Believe it or not, a lot of Spanish people are kind of racist too. Even though there's a lot of black Spanish people, which is like,
Oh,
weird
dude,
to me.
you don't tell me that. I grew up in Wyoming. I know.
Mm-hmm.
I had a bunch of like most of my friends in school in Wyoming were Spanish. I literally went to I had a lot of Mexican friends when I was a kid, and they literally like you don't tell me that.
See,
I know
that this is exactly why like his family, like he grew up so liberal because like his family is from like all over. Like
everybody. The only people in my family that actually were born in the same state as me and my brother.
Yeah, every other person.
Every other person in my family is born in
state.
every state.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's cool. So you guys were all over the.
Let me see here. Me and my brother were the only two that was born in the same state. I was born in Georgia. My dad was born in Louisiana. My mother was born in Florida. Although she was raised in Georgia too, they just literally were cropping down there back in the day. But my sister was born in Tennessee. Let's see here. My brother-in-law was born in Wyoming. My sister, Tennessee. My nieces were born in Pennsylvania and in Colorado.
And then
and then my wife was born in Arkansas. So.
You guys, your Rex's family was getting busy all around the country. Dang, Rex. Okay. No, but that's funny though. But so Rex, your family wasn't born. Yeah, I was born in Philadelphia. Then I'm pretty much my whole life was in Philadelphia.
Dude, my sister lived in Pennsylvania for a long time. Like she loved it. Like I wish she never would have left Pennsylvania. She lived in Pittsburgh though.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's nice. Philadelphia's a mess. It's disgusting right now.
Yeah,
it's like really bad. Honestly.
Yeah, I went to Pittsburgh one time. Pennsylvania was a good state. I liked it. I had no problems with it. Like.
Man, I can't find a piece. Uh-oh. I always end up missing a piece, bro. This is so bad. I cannot find one piece right now. There's not even that many pieces left, so it's like I know it's not here.
Well, you know that stream we did whenever I built that Black Widow brickhead?
Uh-huh.
There was a piece missing out of that. I'm pretty certain I didn't lose it. I don't think they included it, but it was like a printed piece that goes on her arm. There's supposed to be one on each side of her, and one of them just wasn't there.
I hate that. No, sometimes there's like a rare, like that happened to me one time with a printed piece. And at that point, I wasn't doing Lego like this. Mm-hmm. Like I was just doing like on my own time. So I was much more organized. And right now I'm just like a mess.
Yeah.
But so I knew that piece was missing. But it was the brickhead from Jack and from A Night Before Christmas. And this Malphite's like a stitched piece. Yeah. It was just not included. And then I went on the website to order it.
Yeah,
because you can replace it, and they said that it was just out of stock. So I'm like, these motherfuckers had it out of stock, probably filled the inventory of this bag while it was out of stock, and I just didn't get one. So
that's kind of like what happened to us with the Pirates of the Caribbean stuff. Remember when we first bought the original line of the Pirates of the Caribbean shit? Remember, like they gave us a bag of gold pieces that weren't chrome.
Yeah,
and literally, like people on the internet were like really pissed off as fuck about that because. Back in the day, like I'm coming from the generation where if you fucking have Lego gold pieces, they gotta be chrome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've changed that now, but they like when that line first came out, they have the box where it's all chrome pieces, and they literally had to chrome it. And remember, we had to like literally back order like 2 or 3 sets like that that have the chrome, like the gold bar and like all the chrome stuff that they had.
That's like the Finley gauntlet. Does it have? Isn't it yellow? Right? It's not even gold, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just that new. It's that new whatever color they call
Yeah,
that
it's like
gold
a yellow
stuff.
gold
Which
color.
really, to be honest, I know they're like, oh, that hurts people because it's you know the ventilation or whatever. But at the same time, it's like
What?
you have robots do that now.
What do you mean? It hurt? Oh, wait. What do you mean? Like that's what they're saying? Like the
There's
spray
something
painting?
in the paint that they use for that they don't.
They
want to
did it
use the
for.
metallic
They
paint
did that
anymore,
for
but-
a fucking decade before they
I
brought
know.
that up.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Before like they got sued for like asbestos poisoning.
Yeah, exactly. Then half their employees like we got cancer. We
Yeah.
can't do that.
Listen, I know you guys really want these gold pieces, but people are dying here.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're killing our employees. We can't
Yeah,
do this.
And we're just like, no, screw that. We want these gold pieces, damn it.
Yeah.
Take it overseas.
And China, we're gonna need you to.
It's horrible. It's horrible. Man,
Yeah.
it sucks. It really sucks. Wait, is it here? I'm always like flipping around these books. Dang it. That really sucks, man. I might have a piece if I look for it. It's like another one of these pieces. I don't know if you can see. Like these what is it? 6 by I don't know what that is. 6 by 2.
4 by 4.
4x2.
A 4x2. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Whatever. I'm just making up numbers.
A
18
flat
by
4
12.
by 2. Man, he's like, yeah, I don't know what this is.
18
6
by
by
12.
whatever.
It kind of sucks. No, but the minifigures on this set are so sick. Did you guys pick up any of the new Star Wars sets? Well, you guys have so many sets. Did you pick up any of the new Star Wars sets?
I
Or?
haven't gotten any of the new Star Wars
We're,
ones
we're
yet.
deciding what we want to get out of the new line, basically.
I do really want the
Ahsoka one.
yeah, the Ahsoka one I'm
and
definitely gonna
the
get.
what are the armory for the Mandalorian.
Well, yeah, that one's not out yet. It
Yeah,
comes out next
but
month.
that's the one we're really after.
Yeah, I do want that.
I didn't see that one. Which one is that?
I can't think of the name of it, but it's in
You
the
know- you know-
Mandalorian where like they make the
They take his
Mandalorian
metal
armor.
and make
Oh,
the metal
yeah,
and-
yeah.
Yeah, I think
But
it's
I saw that. I saw that.
$30 set. It's coming out next month though.
Yeah, so the Ahsoka one you're talking about is the Duel of Mandalore, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so you guys like the smaller sets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because basically sometimes, like, see, here's the thing about old school Lego. When I was a kid, you could literally buy the biggest damn set for like $89 or $100, and it would have every figure in the whole fucking series.
Right.
And like nowadays, they're like, no, if you want the whole damn series, you got to buy like everything in the line, and
Or you could get
You know,
really good little sets
or you
like
get
this
like
for
yeah,
$7.
that was a $7 set.
That's so crazy that was $7. Yeah, but you
Yeah.
have to dig inflation too is a real thing. So like that was
Yeah.
like, and 2000 for us doesn't seem Rex. First off, Rex is talking like an old man today. He's just like, well, back in my day, back in my day, back in my day,
I'm in the mid 30s. I'm allowed.
Legos were a
Thirty
nickel.
is
You
not
know, you get a whole box for 75 cents. Now it's just ridiculous.
That's why I used to order them out of fucking catalogs. That's how old I am.
Oh wow! You
Let
used
me
to
see
build
if I
your own
can-
Lego.
I can scoot over here. Watch
Yeah,
out.
hang on. Let
Here.
me move back. She's got a.
So you see this tub over here?
Uh-huh.
That tell them how much you paid for that tub.
What was it? $75?
Yeah, I think it was it was whenever he got that tub, it was at Goodwill.
Some guy had
it
just
was-
dropped it off.
Yeah, it was filled up to the brim. Just random Lego pieces.
Minifigures too in there? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
and
wow!
they were like $100 for 100 pounds of Lego.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. It was
Yeah.
$100.
$100 for 100 pounds.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's crazy. Did you get any good steals in there? Like, do you remember
Oh,
anything
yeah.
that really
Oh,
stuck
there's
out?
Yeah.
so much stuff in there. I still have not finished going
No,
through
we
it.
have pieces of the what is it? The Malevolence in that box. We
Yeah,
could probably
I found
rebuild the
part of
Malevolence
Malevolence in
again
there.
out of that box.
I have
That's
found
funny.
part of like one of the old Hogwarts castles in there.
A lot of old Ninjago,
Yeah.
you know,
There,
stuff
has
like that.
been
Oh,
all
wow.
kinds of stuff in that box.
I wonder
we
where it
really
came
use
from.
it for extra pieces.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. No, I have a box of like extra pieces too. Like for this piece, what I do, it's not a big box, but it's just like a bunch of like Lego sets that like before I was collecting like that, I would like dismantle them. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna look to see if I find one of these bricks there. But if not, then I'll just have to go to Lego and order it again. Like they'll give you like I don't have you guys ever ordered from Lego? Just like a spare
Oh, yeah,
piece
yeah,
or
yeah.
something?
Yeah.
Like no, like when we bought the original Benny Space hovercraft or whatever the fuck that's called. What the hell is that called?
What are you talking
You know,
about?
Benny's spaceship. Is it Benny's spaceship?
Are you talking
Who the
about
hell is Benny?
or the
Like, you know,
the one
the
from
Lego
the Lego
movie.
movie?
Isn't it Benny's spaceship?
I think it's called Spaceship.
Spaceship. Anyway, the point of the matter is the main mantle was completely scratched and bit all the hell like when we
now
got
I know
it.
what you're talking about.
And we had to literally order the main damn piece like originally when it first came out because it was like it was literally like somebody just taking it and like scratched it all over the gravel.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looked like.
We should do some. By the way, I found like this real messed up Lego piece today, and I picked it up. I don't know why I picked it up. I felt like an addict. I was in the street. I was like, I gotta pick this up. I'll do like a TikTok video. It was like ran over. It was beat up. Guys, we should do. You guys want to do a quick Q&A on the chat? You guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I saw one here. Lego 239 EyeWearPants. What do you collect most of in Lego form? Guys, so if you guys have any questions for me, BrickQueen, or Radio Rex back there, that beautiful voice you hear back there, it's the voice of God.
That's the angelic voice.
The angelic voice.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and access, man. We'll open. I guess we can do some Q&A.
Yeah, we really haven't been we got kind of like really focused on this stream. So
yeah, it's cool. Whatever. I know, but I saw you guys were going back and forth on your stream on the chat anyway. So, but I do mostly Lego Star Wars, man. It's kind of like what kicked off my my newfound love for it. So I have mostly Lego Star Wars. I dismantled a lot of the Star Wars set that I have, and I have them in a box. And I have like one bookshelf, so I only have the ones that I really, the ones that I really want on display here. But I do mostly Lego Star Wars, and then anything cool that I find. So I got like the Adidas sneaker set that I have. I bought the Venom helmet. I like Batmobiles, so I got like 3 Batmobiles, including the.
You gotta build your Batmobile, Manny.
Yeah, no, I can't right now. I'm too scared, man. I gotta wait till I don't know if I move or something.
You gotta like whip it open.
Who are you? You're not talking, bro. You have sets from like 2009. Get out of here. You're no one to rush me. Okay.
No. I built a 2014 set right. She's built one. I know it's probably more valuable being in the box than building it.
I know it is. That's always true. That's always true. I know. You just devalued that set by like $200.
Yeah.
No, but like this is the set right here. I have it right here. But no, but the thing is, man, I really wanna. I don't want to mess this up. Like I want to. I'm not comfortable. With
he really wants to get that one right. No, dude,
I want to get it right.
I'm not comfortable. We use that one as like a display case.
Yeah, like you guys have a nice house.
Have that one as a display.
That's awesome.
And
that's what
like
I'm saying.
The figures you get out of it.
I know. I love it. The Jack Nicholson, the Michael Caine. But see, you guys have a nice house. You have a Lego room. I have like this little office, tidy up with one shelf. I'm like, not putting that there. I don't trust the space yet. So when I maybe move out and I get bigger space, I might get, or if I get to like 10,000 followers on one of my platforms, I'll do it to like celebrate. But yeah, so that's mostly what I do.
Let's see. MJ says, BQ, favorite Bible story out of curiosity.
That's a good question.
Yeah, my favorite Bible story is the one about having the faith of a mustard seed. I know it's random, but I like that one. No,
and that's still kind of true, right? I mean, that's one of the things that I find kind of true, you know. Oh, but sometimes like all you can do is sort of have faith and be positive, you know. And it just takes a little bit of faith to kind of like change your whole outlook on certain scenarios, you know.
My favorite would be Enoch. Why God took Enoch. If you could figure out what Enoch was and why God liked him, you could understand the physiology and the psyche of God.
Which one was Enoch? Which one was that one?
That was literally the one of the original ones in Genesis.
Isn't Enoch is the only one who never died?
He never died. God took him.
The Bible says God took him up to heaven. He did not actually die.
He got kidnapped. He got abducted.
Exactly. Yeah, so if you could understand what was up with Enoch, you could understand God. Like clearly.
Damn. Hey, Enoch got that. He got the vaccine.
He got that VIP pass, bro.
He got the vaccine passport. He's like, you're vaccinated. You come up on the back.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Man, what's your favorite Bible story?
My favorite Bible story. Oh man, I haven't thought about that. I kind of want to say Noah because it's interesting.
Yeah,
Noah's interesting, and so is like Jonah, the guy who got got eaten by the whale. But I never read all that question, man. For now, I'll go with Noah, just because it's a it's just
I
a
also
cop out
really
answer.
like the story of Job.
Yeah, Job
The way
is.
God
Job. I'll go with Job.
is
I'll go with
good.
Job. That was a good one, man. Job. He kind of went through the ringer, and like
Yeah.
Jesus, and Satan and God made a bet on him. That's kind of messed up. But Satan and God kind of made a bet on. Like, I bet he will turn on you. No, not this guy. Oh yeah, but that was pretty cool. That's a good story. Even that's another one that has a lot of truth to it too, man. Because all these Bibles have a little. I mean, a lot of these stories have a little bit of truth in them if you kind of look at the archetype underneath it. You know what I mean? Some of them do. Like if you look at the flood and like you look at like Katrina, for example, right? Yes, if you just look at like the archetype of it, and you see that like Katrina, like those levees should have been restored for years, right? Like they knew there's evidence that they knew that those levees were not in good condition, but it was like dirty politics and misused funds that kind of caused them to use that funds for something else. And it was just dirty politics all around. They didn't pay attention to that. And it's just kind of like, okay, those dirty politics, bad people, like the sin of men, and you see dirty politics kind of led to that flood sort of destroying the whole city. So it's like it's a stretch, but it's a little bit of like that same kind of archetype that the Bible is saying. It's the same thing happened, but I'll digress a little bit. Actual name I forgot. Oh, you say BrickQueen. Is BrickQueen your actual name? That's a good question.
Yes, I've legally changed my name to BrickQueen. No, it's Christine.
What celebrities have I met in person? I recently saw Bob Saget, John Stamos.
I didn't talk about Bob Saget.
Yeah, I know.
Bro.
Yeah, people got upset. It pisses me off. Like people got upset at that because one guy got so upset that they called Bob Saget a lanky Jew, which is like I don't understand.
That ain't bad, bro.
No, he objectively he's like a lanky Jew. He's a Jew and he's lanky. I don't understand.
That's like the definition of what he is, bro.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like
whenever I heard you say that, it amused me, but I was like, yeah, some people are gonna get upset.
Whatever. I don't care. I hate is like what if for some reason it's like I can make fun of Christianity, I can make fun. It's like so if you say Jews, like some people get real upset. Like, whatever.
You say the
fair
game. You're done.
Get out of here, man. I'm making fun of Islams. I'm making fun of Christians. I'm making fun of everyone. So screw you. I'm not a real racist person will be scared to make fun of them. That's the way I see it. You know what I mean? So, whatever. I know my heart. I'm not racist. I'm just and calling him Jew isn't racist. He's a Jew. So
yeah.
But there was one guy that got really upset about it, and then I made like a response. You guys see it? I took it down. My daughter saw it. She was there when I did it. I made a response. He got so upset about it, and I made a response to that guy. And I was just saying, why did you get upset? I was like, what the fuck? What are you, a Holocaust survivor? Like, why'd you get so upset that I did it? So I went really hard on the guy. And then I pretty much told him, well, I won't repeat exactly what I said. I won't repeat exactly what I said. But then he got so upset. But then he removed all his comments. So now I was like, okay, let me, because he wrote like 6 comments. At the time, there was like 18 comments. 6 of them belonged to him. And I mentioned that in my video.
I told her that you would get a lot of heat for that. Whatever. I don't care. Get a lot of heat for that, bro.
I know. It's so funny. I called John Stamos an Arabian Night. That's also a racist thing. No one got upset at that.
You probably care about that, right?
Yeah, I know. No one cared about that. But when it comes, whatever. But that guy got so upset. And then when I did that video, he removed his comments. So then I removed my video because I was like, okay, all right, you retracted a little bit. So let me retract on mine. Question for Rex: what do you most enjoy drawing? Good question.
I love Dragon Ball Z. It's my favorite thing I've ever. That is probably one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life is Dragon Ball Z. And it's for a lot of different reasons, but like really, to be honest with you, I've been working on my own personal graphic novel for about a decade now.
Yeah.
Like I've literally been working on it. So I went to school anyway. I was going to be an artist, and I was going to go to New York, and I was going to actually go be a professional comic book artist. Mm-hmm. I just stayed around and just did my own thing, but I literally had a chance. I literally was offered a deal to go out to New York and actually become an actual comic book artist, and I just didn't do it. But
no, you're very talented, bro. I'll tell you that much.
and so like a lot of people. So I've been working on that. That's like what I'm working towards at the end of my life. One day I will. I will finish my novel.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. No, I started, but it's so funny because nowadays, like, there's a lot of smaller publication companies, and you can even like self-publish and stuff like that nowadays. So,
It's
but
a lot easier now than what it used to be.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of things in creative arts is a lot easier now because of the internet. Like, people don't understand that, man. Like, now you can just like put your own shit out there.
Yeah, you could do it. Like back when we were kids, we couldn't do that.
No, man. Like, you needed to get on a network. You needed to get. You know how hard it is to get on like a major network
company.
Yeah, dude. You know how hard it is to get on a major network, man. Like, it's always been that hard. Like, for people who are on CBS or something like that, it's always been as hard as it is now. But now, like with YouTube, people are making $1 million off of YouTube, and like people are just like really so that's good for that. But dude, I started working on a graphic novel, man, and I was so passionate about it. But
like if you want me to draw it for you, I'll do it for you.
No, but you might.
I'll draw it.
No, you kind of. I can send you what I had, man. Like what?
Hey, man, like that's fine with me. Like if you want to do it up, that's fine with me.
Yeah, no, I'll show you. I'll show you what I have.
I can draw, bro.
No, I know you can draw. But my thing isn't me. Like I started to write the first chapter of it, and like there's so many things that I feel like I'm good at, but I just drag ass. Like I'm good at, but I just suck. I don't motivate myself.
Millennial dude.
Yeah, I know. We want to work from home and shit. I know what you mean. No, it's funny because I've always been pretty much a hard worker, but when it comes to like my own things, it's like, man, like I'm good at editing, but I hate to do it. I'm good at writing, but I hate writing. You know what I mean? Even though I feel like I'm good at it, and once I have something tangible, I'm like, man, that's so cool. But you might spark my interest to get it going. I would want to like explain to you what it's about, and then I could send you like the first half of the story.
I'll do it. You gotta finish the story, and I'll draw it for you.
Yeah, I'll send you what I have just so you can just kind of read, not so you can draw for it, but just so you can kind of read it and you can kind of see like where I'm going. So, but I might reignite my interest.
Well, they got a lot of stuff going on with that Patreon stuff with like or Indiegogo with comic books now. Like a lot of people can get that stuff going really quick now. All you gotta do is finish it, draw it, and have it done.
Yeah.
Now, let's get a few more questions here. Ask questions. It's Q&A. Okay, BrickQueen and King, ever disagree on what you have on display? Like set one, your loves, but the other really doesn't. Oh, as far as like displaying, yeah, I feel. Well, let me just give my 2 cents. I know it's not my question at all. But correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like BrickQueen kind of runs that show as far as what's on display. I could be wrong. I'll back up.
It depends on, like, she gets the majority of it, but if I say I want this fucking set out, I get that set out.
If he ever says like, I want to display this set, like we'll display that set. It's just most of the time he just doesn't care.
I just don't care. Like there's a couple things like the Batmobile, the Slave one.
The UCS Slave one is on our mantle in the living room.
Yeah, I don't blame you though.
Yeah, like there's a couple of them that I'm just like, no, we're not fucking taking that apart, and that's about it.
Like above our front door, like there's like this
little shelf.
It's kind of like a little shelf above it. It's just kind of like a ledge at the
top
of the door. We need to
take a picture of that shit.
We do, and like some of his favorite action figures.
I got my turtles up there. I bought these really nice fucking Ninja Turtles that are like really good, and I put them up on the mantle, and I'm like, yes.
Has anyone ever closed the door too hard and he fell and you killed Raphael? Or no?
No,
it's actually like it's like about 6 inches higher than the door, so it doesn't rattle it or nothing. So it just stays there in permanence.
All right,
I can't reach up there to change it anyway. Not that I want to. It's just I'm too short.
Rex kept them out of your reach, so
I'm like, these are my turtles.
I'm like, I don't care.
Rex feeds them every 4 hours.
What's funny is whenever I was a kid, I actually had 4 pet turtles.
Oh, really? Now my dog
had to actually release them to a natural park, like a state park.
Whenever I
Yeah,
went
yeah,
to college, I couldn't keep them, so I turned them over to a local park.
Yeah.
Your pastor said you were sinning, so you had to get rid of them.
Anna, you gotta get rid of turtles.
Yeah.
That's a sin. Yeah, box turtles.
like we really got to talk about these turtles, Christine.
Yeah, that's too much.
I've heard. I've heard.
Yeah.
That's funny. Rex, any progress on the graphic novel? Will you release it? Show it to us. You put some
I
pictures in
think
the
I
Discord,
have
didn't you?
showed some of my graphic novel
Yeah.
Yeah,
before.
you've posted
Yeah,
some
and
of
many
it.
I posted in your Discord. Remember,
Yeah.
like I literally have posted a couple screenshots of my pages before.
Yeah, they look epic, but we know nothing about the story behind it. But it does look epic. It looks like an epic journey. Say that much.
Yeah, see, like I've been working on that for a long time.
Yeah, man, we should chat about if we get on a call about my I'll send you my script from what I've been writing. Because think about writing graphic novel scripts. I was looking into it. And it's kind of like it's pretty much like a script. It's almost like the same format.
It's like a movie script.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
basically what it's like.
Exactly. Question: what is Rex's job? He's an artist, but
Yeah, I'm an artist. I like that's what people say. Like, do you go to a day job? Well, not really, but technically, yes.
question for EyeWearPants, BrickQueen, Radio. Oh, I missed that one. Radio. Okay. Question for all three of us: do you hope to be a big YouTube channel, or so you prefer to be nice small community? Well, they are bigger than me, so I feel like they kind of been around for a while. They're a lot bigger than me, a lot bigger. I got like 1,000 followers. They got like 100,000 followers. So
well, I mean, like at the same time, like we kind of have to start out from square one again because like YouTube really did screw us.
Yeah,
Like
we've actually been working.
We've been working with
partner
YouTube for a
support
while
because YouTube has finally admitted to us that they really did turn the notifications off.
Years
Like,
ago.
All our subscribers that subscribed years ago, like they disabled notifications for them. So the only people on our channel that get notifications are the people who have subscribed in the last
Our
couple
new
of years.
fans.
I see the newer fans.
Yeah.
So we're kind of growing together, even though you have that sucks. So that pisses me off. That sucks.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can do. Well, I mean, YouTube's so big that for them to even like, it's like it's not like they're gonna do anything about it.
Yeah, they keep telling us that they're investigating. Like, I figure in the end they'll be like, we can't do anything or we won't do anything. But that right now they keep like stringing us along. They're like, we're still investigating. Every few days they're like, we're still investigating.
That's been going on for a while.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
really? But they are like trying to communicate with you about it still?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're communicating, they're trying or pretending to at least.
Pretending. Yeah, they're pretending to.
They said I had a daughter. Maybe I said, what is your favorite Marvel hero? I'm a Daredevil guy. I love Daredevil. I've always been a fan of Daredevil. I love writing so much. All right. But yeah, and for me, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just going to keep going. I mean, obviously, I would like to get to the point where I'll make some money off of YouTube, So I'm having a blast with it. I try not to think about that stuff. I just like want to stream and kind of have fun with it. And then I just noticed that it's starting to grow organically. And then, so I'm just going to keep doing it. I don't like wake up in the morning. I got to be a big YouTuber or anything like that. I just kind of see this as it's kind of therapeutic. I enjoy YouTube. I do find there's some benefits to having a smaller community. Like, I see like this is very communicative and everyone's like kind of in touch with everyone. And that's kind of cool. And sometimes I go on like these larger streams and it's just like the chats. Like I said this before, it's like a credit in the movie.
They cut from the what like connecting from the bottom. That's just the way it is. See, when we did this, like nobody had no way to communicate like that, did they? Like it was all just basic beta YouTube.
Like, everything was different on YouTube 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When we started.
You guys had to put VHS tapes in and kind of
exactly. Film it like
We walked uphill in the snow with no shoes
both
on.
ways. That's hilarious. You guys have to take like journey like Gandalf. It's like we're almost at the top of the algorithm. Hold on.
That's pretty much what it was like. No, it was a total mystery.
Yeah.
Everything you did was just a mystery.
It was.
Last question. I do not have any kids, and I stick by that. Okay, that's for the chat. I don't have any kids. Akari's a ghost. Sorry. So, Rick Titan, what original character from Dragon Ball have you made?
What do you mean, like?
I'm guessing they're talking about drawing.
Oh yeah, I've done like almost every character. Like Like Dragon Ball Z is like one of my favorite genres of all time. Like, see, you gotta understand, when I was a kid, Dragon Ball Z was the type of shit that we would literally get a VHS tape of like some shit from Japan, and we would come home and we would be like 16. We would steal some beers, we would put that shit in a VHS player, and we'd be like, this shit is fucking wild. And it would have that music and stuff like that. We would just be like, wow, this is like out of the world cool.
I used to come home every day and try to watch Dragon Ball Z at 3:30. I used to try to run home. He used to go to Cartoon Network.
All right.
I used to try to watch it at 3:30.
It's hilarious, like how different like our lives were, like between me and Rex. Like, because he's talking about doing that at 16, and I'm thinking back to when I was 16. I'm like, I was a student leader in my youth group at church.
I know.
That's like what my life revolved around.
We're like, our God is an awesome God.
I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying how different our lives were.
Like, I'm sorry, my goals were a little bit different.
Yeah, no, he was like the Fonz. He had like his leather jacket, his pack of cigarettes on his.
I missed growing up because of being in church. I don't feel like I
but you know what?
To an extent.
But I feel like the grass is always greener. You know what I mean? Like I feel that way too. And like I grew up and like my I guess an ex. I won't say she's my daughter's mom. Maybe she is. But I grew up. I remember an ex telling me like she looked at my childhood and she was like, "Damn, man, you had like such a wholesome childhood." And like your childhood was a lot more simpler than mine. I felt like my childhood was a mess, and I always felt the same way you felt, BrickQueen.
Yeah.
But when I heard that, I'm like, you know what? Maybe that is kind of true. So I feel like the grass is always greener. You know what I mean? It makes who we are today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like who we are now. So. But I hear you though. I struggled with that same kind of thought. I felt like, okay, shit, I missed out on so much, which is why we rebel. We were like in Christian.
Well, hell, I was rebelling even without it.
No, at 16, I was not drinking beer. Like it was like, well, I remember my mom telling me I couldn't even date until I was 16. So,
man,
I didn't get a haircut till I was 16.
It's like Waterboy. What mama don't know won't hurt her.
Yeah, I know. I said my mom tried to know everything. My mom tried to know everything. All right, I think should we wrap it up?
Yeah, we can wrap it up for the night.
Yeah. All right, guys, it was a pleasure, man. It always is, man. It always is. Now I'm like, wait, once a month, should we do this more or what?
It's whatever you want.
If you want to do it more on this channel, it's whatever. We can talk later. It's whatever you want to do, man.
Yeah, man, this was fun, guys. I appreciate it. Like I said, I go through my ups and downs. So it's like sometimes like I don't realize, like I just hold myself back from doing stuff, and then when I do it, I'm like, oh man, this is what was I thinking? You know what I mean? So
yeah, I totally understand that.
Yeah, you guys are so awesome, MJ, Liam, HD. Thanks you guys for hanging on the whole time, man. I know we weren't always like attentive to the chat, but
right.
You guys were always communicating with each other. You guys are awesome, man. I appreciate all the support from you guys, man. And,
I love our fans.
Yeah,
I know. This is a new leaf. I'm telling you, man. This is awesome, bro. I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are streaming again, and I'm glad that I'm glad to have met you guys. I honestly am, man. You guys are awesome.
I am too.
Yeah,
I'm glad we met
a different era of YouTube. Clearly.
Yep.
Yeah. We're changing, bro. It's a new leaf, and now you notice all these weaves don't even get near us now for the most part. So whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All these weaves, not weaves. Weaves are good. They're anime fans. I like weaves. But,
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much, man. Have a good night. Everybody on the chat. You guys are awesome. God bless you guys.
Good night,
We'll see you guys
everybody.
later.
Bye.